No, no, not yet.
Dante Greco.
Dante is a really smart guy.
Ladies love Dante.
They want it there. Look at that face. What's your name? Casey.
Dante Greco.
Dante was me, yours truly.
I'm gonna come.
Live from Jalalabad, it's the Dante Greco Show on a Thursday night. We're here. I've got Evie Matavelli, my beautiful, gorgeous fiance, brilliant international relations master, PhD, tech, genius, every and anything as my co-host. We got so much to talk about today and very little time to do it. So cut the shit. No more effing around, right, babe?
We have a lot of time.
All right, let's get right into the stories, okay? So, first of all, okay, what the hell? Already messing up. God damn. Okay, never mind. All right, cut that. All right, we got a lot going on. Taylor Swift has a new boyfriend.
Ooh, who is this gentleman?
His name is Matt Healy.
Oh, it's the emo boyfriend
From the-
season
The
again.
1975.
Oh, I love that song. I love the band.
Look at him. He looks thirsty. He looks like a try-hard attention whore. You know, he's painting his chest. He's got the eyeliner. And this is the guy who you're not really aware of this, but I'm on Twitter, so I see this. His
Okay.
thing is he goes from city to city, and at each show, he makes out with a fan
For free?
for free. And I don't know what kind of pre-screening they put these fans through, but like he's had to have picked up some kind of infection on one of these stops at least, right?
Does he pick the hot ones or just everybody?
I don't know. I think if he only picked hot ones, people would come after him. I think what he does is he picks people that are just like all right looking, because then everyone's like, oh, how sweet, he's making out with a fan. But if it was just like people that look
A
like
fan, but
you,
it could be like according to his like sexual views, or does it discriminate?
what are you talking about? Between men and women?
Or trans or whatever? Like,
That's
does he
a-
discriminate? Is he open? Like, is he embracing all of us?
Good.
Or
Good question. I'm not sure. But I
Okay.
could see him being like, yeah, I'll make out with anybody. Trans, non-binary, gay, straight. I'll make out with any and anybody. Man, woman.
interesting. So we are in the emo boyfriend season. As you know, Kourtney Kardashian is married to Travis Baker, right?
Barker. Yeah.
Barker, whatever. And Megan Fox is MGK. I don't know what's going on. And that's Kim had Pete Davidson, which is kind of emo vibes to him too. So I guess he's within the aesthetics. I think it's a huge throwback into the emo looking boyfriend. So nothing better than have after a breakup with a actor hunk like her ex, then just go with the emo. He's gonna sing some sad songs, play guitar with you on a dark Friday, rainy Friday, and he probably will paint your nails too for you, so in your toes. So
Well,
I think it's a great idea, Taylor. Like emos are emotional.
the thing that's got everyone surprised is how different he is from her normal man. Normally, she's with people that are like
Blonde.
in Massachusetts, like a Kennedy, or she's with Harry Styles. The most
He like
Ri-
blonde. She likes blonde guys, right? She
The-
has a thing for blonde guys or
the
something.
edgiest guy she's probably been with that we know
Joe
of is
Mayer?
John Mayer. Yeah.
I knew they were gonna say John Mayer, but I don't know. It's a little bit out of style.
Well, let me tell you about this guy though.
Tell me a little bit about
He
him.
had a heroin addiction.
Wow.
He fights. He smokes joints in interviews.
Doesn't he have like Satan tattoo on his neck? It looks like
Yeah.
the guy from the Satan Satacon that you talked about in the previous podcast. That you guys should check it out.
He's probably into some weird shit. And she's very straight laced. I could see her mom being like, "Taylor, be careful.
Oh my
Get
god.
away from it." She seems like the type of person who would be like, "Were you doing drugs out there?"
I would
like,
not
he steps
trust-
outside to smoke weed, and she's like, "I'm so disappointed in you. Were
Yes.
you doing drugs outside?"
Makes me sad.
Matt?
Also, I think like I would not trust my cats alone with this guy. What if he tries to do like some ritual or something? He looks
Yeah.
weird. He looks a little bit like out of like control, out of himself. So maybe
Matt, are those track marks in your arms? Are you shooting up heroin again?
I don't think
So
it's a good
disappointed in
idea.
you.
Taylor, you could have done better. But you know, I don't know. I think like sometimes, how does she meet him? Do you have any backstory or?
I think she's been spotted he's in a band called the 1975. They're British again, by the way.
Oh, they're British? I thought they were American.
She loves British people. Tom Hiddleston, Joe Alwyn, Harry Styles. She's just thinks she's like a upper class British aristocrat.
She's a Kennedy.
Yeah. So
okay.
She's been to his shows before. She may have even collaborated with them. I've never heard one of their songs, nor do I want to.
I did.
Looking at him, I don't ever want to hear anything that comes out of his mouth.
I think songs from like early 2000s that he have, it's very like, actually it's nothing evil. It's very, he looks very evil, and he looks very Ozzy Osbourne in his aesthetics, but his songs, I mean, from a few years ago, from 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, I think last time I listened to their song, it's kind of like vanilla cereal. Like it's not really
emo.
It's kind of like emo, but kind of like cereal. Like it's like cereal. I mean, I'm saying like it's kind of like, I don't know, like you know, Fruit Loops. It's kind of like fruity and cute and colorful. That's kind of how it was before.
Whimsical.
It's
like that video you were just showing me before we came on here from My Chemical Romance, where they're like in some 1920s Parisian or German art aesthetic.
Yeah,
you know,
punk rock,
singing,
1989 in Germany.
I wanted to save you. You like all that pussy emo shit. Miss me.
Well,
with that,
the
please,
reason I was showing to Dante, just to kind of give it a little context, is because we were gonna go to have some tacos, and the actor that is playing the dead guy from the video is the son of what's his name?
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. And then I was just like, oh, I met his son once at a Halloween photo shoot. Trejo, so I was just showing.
But anyways,
going back to the point.
Let's just talk about this guy real quick.
And get our daughter from the floor. I'll hold her.
Yeah, I want to move off of this topic. But
sorry, we're picking up our daughter from the floor. There we go. She's up here. Oh, she's our princess.
Be careful with it.
She's
all right. Anyways, you know, it's just I can't see her. She might be having a quarter life crisis. I don't see this lasting very long because she is going to be like, Matt, I told you no drugs, no drinking if you want to be with me.
Good knows. Maybe like Kourtney Kardashian wants to send her some of the punk rock clothes. She wants to join the punk rock emo boyfriend trend. I think she's kind of following the trends, and let Taylor have her fun. I don't know, like maybe those guys that look like good boys, they're not really that great. So
yeah. Well, I had a very popular tweet about this, by the way. I just want to say, is that your phone? Yes. Oh God, I'm getting a call in the middle of the show. Son of a bitch.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. Okay. Boy.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay. Anyways, I had a very popular tweet about this. A lot of people responded to it. I said, follow the Dante Greco show on Twitter, by the way. The guy who makes out with fans in every city, I know he's got to have some nasty canker sores at the very least. A lot of people like that.
Yeah, that sounds so funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious, right?
It is hilarious. It is amazing. Great comments.
All right. Anyways, we're going to monitor this situation as it develops, but let's pivot to some serious news, okay? There is a major outrage happening in New York City over the chokehold death of a Michael Jackson impersonator on the subway. Oh. Basically, what happened was guys on the subway, he's having an episode. He had mental health issues. He's having an episode. He's yelling. He's hungry. He's yelling. He doesn't care about going to jail or hurt people and whatnot. A Marine, a 24-year-old Marine, puts him in a chokehold, and along with a couple other guys. You can see this on video, which we're not going to watch. I don't like to watch snuff films, but
it sounds like a scene from the Joker movie.
Yeah, well, so they put him in a chokehold and restrain him, and then he died.
Did they get the guys and arrest him?
Well, the Marine hasn't been charged yet, but there is growing.
That's the Marine
anger.
Guy?
Yeah, the Marine is the white guy. He looks like someone Taylor Swift would date. And
he looks like her ex, actually.
Yeah, Joe Alwyn. That might be Joe Alwyn, actually. Maybe he just totally snapped after fumbling the Taylor Swift bag. But the Marine put him in the chokehold, and the guy died. There's mounting anger in New York City. There are clashes going on between the NYPD and protesters to charge this man. Echoes of George Floyd, I have heard. And so,
But he has
the
no authority
homicide-
to
or
do
no,
this.
the medical examiner ruled it a homicide. So,
So-
now it's going to be on the city to decide whether or not to charge him with homicide.
I'm just saying that he's a Marine, but he doesn't have the authority to kill any person, a civil person, and he's not even wearing a uniform. He's not in service. What is the reason why he would do this?
Well, therein lies the gray area that everyone, things are lining up on both sides of the aisle as usual. People are saying, hey, this guy's a threat. He had like 40 prior arrests. He's yelling in the subway, it's dangerous to the people that are just trying to ride the subway, women, children, men, whoever. But then on the other hand, there are people who I'm pretty sure I'm in this camp. It's not deserving of deadly force. Now, restraining the guy if he seems dangerous, okay. But choking to the point of death,
That's bad.
number one, just like as a human being, that's not deserving of a death sentence. Yelling on the subway. Number two, how do you think? Like you're not in a self-defense situation. You think that you're going to get away with this because there's brewing vigilantism on social media, and everyone's like, people are fed up across the country with the lack of action over homelessness, right? Like here in LA, there's a lot of people are fed up.
There's a lot of homeless people, and depending where you are in town, they kind of do some crazy stuff. Sometimes I'm sitting here by the window, even in my neighborhood. Sometimes there's like one person screaming in the streets and bothering others. But I think in LA, people kind of just ignore them. And New York, I feel like people seem to be a little bit more confrontational. Why would you just hop in someone's face like that? It sounds incorrect and crazy. And the fact that you killed him, what were you think is going to happen if you just deprive him from breathing?
I don't know how you think that you can make that move. You're not an officer of the law.
Yeah, you're not wearing uniform. You're not in a combat. You're not doing a mission. So honestly, I think he even might lose his military status when you do that. I think you're not supposed to kind of hold fire or hurt civilians for no reason,
or be charged with murder or manslaughter or something. I mean, I don't know how you can do it and think that you're going to get away with it. Not that he was trying to like commit a crime necessarily. Well, of course, we don't know what the guy's motivations were one way or another. But not that he was like a serial killer who was just like, finally my chance to kill a homeless person.
I think he's just thinking like, oh my
You're not gonna
God,
get away with it.
guys like that. Like, let me tell you a little bit about military guys. I've been with one for a little bit, and their style is kind of like, let me teach this person a lesson. It's all about teaching someone a lesson. Let me teach my girlfriend a lesson. Like me. Let me teach my parents a lesson. Let me teach this guy a lesson. So a lot of the times they want to teach a lesson. So maybe he's like trying to say, oh, let me show this guy like my 2 cents here about this. And in doing so, the ego is so large that he ends killing the guy.
Well, it also is like what I was saying about there is hold on. Is this the real Stuttering John? Stuttering John, who I have interviewed once before outside of what's it called? Place in Beverly Hills, Ocean Prime. Stuttering John, can you hear me? It was me, the ex-TMZ guy. Arrest Trump and his Jew kids. Down with the Jew QP, lock up all the Trumpers without a trial. Okay, I don't remember Stuttering John being a raging anti-Semite. Stuttering John used to be the guy on Howard Stern who would go out and ask people funny questions.
I think that could be a bot.
Yeah, it's a weird bot. Anyways, so there is an environment on the internet, especially of people like, we got to take this into our own hands. The city, the government's not doing anything about the homeless, about the mentally ill, about the drug addicts. We got to do it. And so that could have been something that would motivate this guy to step in. Who knows if he meant to kill him or if he just put him in a really good chokehold and it was really effective.
Smiling. in the photo. Like there's,
I don't know that he's smiling.
yeah,
I mean,
he's
sometimes
smiling.
when you're choking someone, you're
Look
like,
at him. Look at the smirk. Look at the like smirk on his face. He's
I
kind of like,
know.
no, he's like this. He's like this. Like,
no,
yes, he is.
no. Listen, he could just be going, choking him.
I think that if you have military training, you don't have the right to use that against civilians.
I mean, look, in his mind, he probably thought he was keeping the place safe. It's just, you can't.
He's not Superman. You're
do
not
it till
Superman.
death. You could put him. You could do a citizen's arrest type of thing, maybe until a subway. If there are even subway security officers will show up, it's hard enough to get a cop to show up for anything these days. But
okay.
anyways, here's just what happened on the situation. The guy was screaming that he had. Okay, on Monday, the guy's name is Jordan Neely, a Michael Jackson impersonator, by the way. Neely was traveling on the F train at around 2:27 p.m. when he began yelling and throwing garbage, according to other passengers. He screamed that he had no food, no drink, and wanted to die. By the way, his mother years ago was murdered and stuffed in a suitcase. So, it's not like he had some she life.
How do you know that?
Well, I'm a member of the media.
His
I do
mother
research.
was killed and stuffed in a suitcase by who? Is like a serial killer from New York?
No, I don't know if they solved it or not.
That sounds terrifying, honestly. That's
I think it was Matt Healy, the lead singer of the 1975 Taylor Swift's new boyfriend.
No, but that's crazy.
hold on,
So he didn't grow up with a mom. His mom was killed.
Yeah. He didn't. He was a street performer. He didn't have a great life. All right.
I mean, do you think street performers have great lives? Like, if you have a great life, you don't do street performing.
No,
I think
exactly. I'm not.
that's kind of scary. That reminds me of the Joker, guys. The Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
All right, so let me just read what this is because we don't have a lot of time today, unfortunately. The former Marine, described as a decorated sergeant who was an active service member until 2 years ago, put Neely in a chokehold to subdue him. He and two other men on the train restrained Neely for a total of 15 minutes, according to the witnesses, until police arrived. Neely was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. So the NAACP and Black Lives Matter are saying that this is the latest example of inhumane vigilante justice. It's a complete travesty. He was restrained for 15 minutes. The loss of his life. Those involved should be held accountable. Protesters are fighting with the NYPD. It's crazy. It's another really tough call, but like you put him in a chokehold that resulted in the guy's death. I don't see how this Marine is getting out of it, especially in New York City, which leans liberal. Alvin Bragg, who's currently going after former President Donald Trump, would be in charge of deciding whether or not this guy's going to get charged, let alone the other two men who are helping to restrain him. I don't see it ending positively for the Marine.
I don't know.
But it's weird. It's just, there has to be some real movement. We have to, calm down a little bit. But look, we've all been in a situation where homeless people are yelling crazy stuff. And so you're like, does anybody want to do anything? I was like, not really. You never know if they're going to pull out a shank. I mean, we've experienced that like 5 times. We live in LA. So you want to be able to ride the subway or walk somewhere without the risk of someone who's going
not in this world. Not in this world
but
with the drug crisis happening, and they're putting more chemicals into the drugs in the streets these days. The amount of things that people are consuming, and then also the stress of like the environment, political momentum that we're living. I think that it's kind of gonna get worse.
And they do need to seriously address these issues across the country. AOC had an interesting tweet about how so many people with mental health and drug problems are locked up in Rikers, where it costs like $500,000 to keep them incarcerated per year, whereas giving them some kind of housing assistance would be like $42,000. Obviously, taxpayers are like, really, we got to pay this much for for all this stuff. But unfortunately, I think that's just the only way. You have to put some money into this if we want to solve this problem, because these people are not just going to get it together and turn their lives around on their own.
I don't think it's just only about housing. There's a lot of programs in LA. They are for housing for homeless. They also, the problem is the person to wanted to stay in a house. Taking care of a house, it's errands, it's staying indoors. You have to behave. You cannot make crazy noises at night. You cannot just start wandering around looking for drugs. You probably have to go through a detox from your drug use. And a lot of the homeless people, they chose to be in the streets. Some people actually, they could go back home if they wanted to, but they don't want to. They don't want to have to follow the rules, get clean, and find a solution for their problems. For the ones that want to, I think they should start a mental health initiative before putting people in houses. Otherwise, it's going to become like cocaine houses or drug houses where people just go to use drugs.
Right. All right. Now we're going to move on from the story. We'll continue to monitor this as closely as we're monitoring Taylor Swift and her new boyfriend.
I am not monitoring Taylor Swift and her boyfriend. She can do whatever she wants, and maybe she's just hanging out. I don't know if she's actually dating him. Do you have pictures of them making out?
I don't know. Who knows?
It could be just like, hey, let's grab a lunch or something. Now you think that you're dating.
Listen, let's talk about everyone's favorite, most dangerous subject to talk about in the world: Dylan Mulvaney and the Bud Light boycott.
Oh my God, she looks like a lot like what's her name? The Kardashian one, Jenner.
Caitlyn?
Yeah, she
Like a
looks like
young
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn?
Yeah, she looks like Caitlyn Jenner with a little bit of filter. Yeah.
I see that.
They kind of probably use the similar surgeon for the faces. I don't know. It looks very similar. Could be her daughter. It looks like Caitlyn Jenner's daughter.
I said this before. I think she looks kind of like Jackie O.
Who's Jackie O?
Jackie Kennedy, JFK's wife.
Jackie Kennedy.
Yeah. Well, she later became Jackie Onassis. But like, I am convinced that Biden, when he had Dylan Mulvaney into the Oval Office and was talking to her, was having a flat, like, thought it was Jackie O. Because he was like, God, I love you. Good to see you. Yeah. Anyways, I want to talk about this real quick. The Bud Light boycott has not let up. Now, the CEO finally came out today and disavowed the entire thing, said that they weren't aware of it and blah, blah, blah. Sales have crashed 26%. And this has all been going on for like a month now. So it really has been an effective boycott. But what I'm wondering is, now that they've put out new advertisements with horses and like young people sharing buds and, people on the farm and stuff like that, trying to reconnect with their core audience. And
Mid-America.
They've also been like, hey, we didn't really want to do this. They put the woman who came up with this whole scheme.
They hung her in the public streets.
She's been executed
in public with Bud Lights.
Yeah.
They had to like stone her with Bud Light cans.
Kid Rock blew her away with an AK-47.
I believe it.
Yeah. No, but they've done all that. And at what point, would conservatives who are leading the charge say, okay, it's enough? Babe, please, the camera's up there. If you got a yawn, directly into the camera.
It's just my brain needs more oxygen.
I know. Yeah, honestly, can we open the window? It's hot as fucking.
I'm gonna open the window, guys.
All right. So, but the other thing is this: I don't even believe at this point it's a boycott. It's not like an organized like protest picketing thing. It's really now, which is much more damaging, a case of people just don't want to be seen buying Bud Light. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying
order an Amazon card or order online. They're gonna deliver by your door. The drones will bring your Bud Light there for you.
I mean, if you're sick enough to need Bud Light that badly that you'll order it online, then God help you.
I mean, it's kind of like, for example, like I used to be really into energy drinks, and now I'm drinking this non-alcoholic beverage from Germany. The Klaushaler is not alcoholic here, but it tastes really good. It has low sugar, and I'm kind of into this. Like, if I think like they do something or promote something that I don't necessarily agree, I'll be really sad because I really love to drink this. I think I'll find ways to get it. Honestly, let me say something. Just my opinion. First, my 2 cents about the Dylan situation. I think that that Bud Light haven't had this much of attention in the media for a very long time. they put a deal in there to capitalize and kind of become a global conversation about that kind of subject. They knew what they're putting themselves into it. Okay, people are boycotting, but you're getting huge marketing and your name is everywhere.
All right. Anyways, don't ignore the phone call. Sorry, that's the problem when you're doing this stuff on your computer. The people can just call you.
How about Dante? Let's take a break and message your friends saying to them that you're busy.
No. I already told them. Stop calling if you're watching.
Stop calling people.
What I wanted to say,
he's not going.
Like, look at this video of people in Fenway Park, which is a big baseball stadium. Okay,
guys, this is so funny and bizarre. Look at that. That is the Bud Light. That is every single Bud Light stand here at Fenway Park in Boston. Right? We're at the Red Sox game. That's what the Bud Light stands for.
Where is that?
Okay, so that's in Boston. So here's the thing. It's not a boycott anymore. It's like you're going to go at Fenway Park and you're going to buy some Bud Light, and then you're going to open yourself up to any guy who's been drinking with his buddies and being like, look at this,
supporter or whatever, this person.
Guy, I want to use some words that you can't use anymore, but like words about slurs for gay people. That's what these people would say. They'd be like, look at this slur.
People are going to start a fight with your boyfriend for it. Yeah, maybe to save yourself from a headache and being provoked. Yeah, so maybe people are just avoiding for peacemaking.
Why would you put the spotlight on yourself that way? By coming out proudly with a Bud Light. Mm-hmm. And B, even worse is, let's say you're living in like a small town or just like somewhere in the country that's not so progressive. You're going to go to the supermarket and you're going to pull out a case of Bud Light, and you don't think people are going to be like, oh my God, look at that. Did you hear that Dante Greco was bought a 32 pack of Bud Light? I always knew there was something off about that guy.
Yeah, I think specifically like for those small towns and more conservative states, probably people are gonna find a big deal about it. But I think in LA, people, I almost forgot about Dylan Mulvaney. I forgot about the Bud Light thing. So if I see someone buying it, honestly, because in LA things happen so fast, like. Today you talk about this, tomorrow about something else. Weeks pass, I don't remember what happened.
Listen, babe.
So I honestly think like people in the coasts or LA, because the news are always like so fast here, people don't really care. And I do think but yeah, if you live in somewhere more conservative, people are gonna really come for you. I understand.
If you walked around here with a Bud Light, people would start clapping.
I don't
here in LA
or not. Or I don't think people even remember. Honestly, like if I see someone drinking Bud Light, I'm not gonna think about, oh my God, this person is drinking Bud Light and clap or say anything negative. I think people honestly don't care at this point.
I might show up to the writer's strike picket line with a case of Bud Light.
Let's talk about the writer's strike.
Okay, but anyways, that's just it.
Do you have anything else about Dylan that we need to talk about?
Real quick. That's just it. That like, I don't know how Bud Light is going to fix this, because it's not just like give in to our demands and then we will like you again. It's at the point where people are just like, I don't like, son, you better not come home with any Bud Light, or like, you don't want to be seen in the grocery store. You don't want to be seen at the bar. Imagine you're sitting there at the bar, like, I'll have a Bud Light, and like the music stops, like, what'd you just order? And then my other question was, I've been trying to figure this out. So if anyone knows, please drop a comment. Has this made Dylan Mulvaney's brand toxic to most advertisers? Has he picked up any new advertisers since this happened? Because why would you want to go near him now? Unless you're like a very clearly, unless you're like, Sweet Green or something, or Whole Food, like a very clearly liberal establishment.
One of the companies,
you going to take the risk of people, the backlash that comes from Dylan Mulvaney?
I think you should check her Instagram to make sure that she didn't pick at anyone else. But one of the things about Dylan that kind of pissed off women, there's two things. One thing is the Nike active wear, like their leggings and stuff like that. They're mad because they didn't pick up women for women's performance clothes and shoes. There's so many ladies that are athletes and stuff like that, and they like the leggings. Most of the market for the leggings are women, like born women people. Of course, transgender as well. But I think that women got a little upset because they thought that they should go for some athlete or someone that's I don't know. That's what women were thinking. So that's one of the things, and also the tampon thing, because you're needed.
By the way, I will proudly accept the Bud Light sponsorship if it means bringing any ad dollars onto this show. I'll get in a bubble bath.
By the way,
I'll change my name to Dante
I
Mulvaney, whatever you want.
I would love to be supported by Klaus Haler. By the way, this is like non-alcoholic, and it's so good. They're not sponsors yet, but if they want to sponsor, it tastes a little bit like a beer Aperol Spritz had a baby, but without the sugar and alcohol. And it gives you like a little bit of like the feeling of like, oh, you're having some dessert. And it's very nice. If you put it in a cup like a beer, it foams like a beer. So it's super cute.
You know what? If you really wanted to be find an economic terrorist, I would dress up like Dylan Mulvaney, get in a bubble bath, and be like, "Oh, Klaus Towler, I love Klaus Towler. Thank you for the free Klaus Towler," or whatever product. If there was a product I disliked, I would do that, and then even though it wouldn't last, it would probably tank the stock price for at least a couple days. All right, let's move on to the writers' strike.
Writers' strike, striking again.
Dylan Mulvaney on the picket line, because that might I don't know, that might be.
I don't have anything against Dylan besides just offensive things about women, honestly. That the thing is, like, I don't like when Dylan talks about women in a more like, oh, let's all be sluts, let's be women, or something like that. I think it's a little bit of a mischaracterization of women. But besides that, I don't have anything against Dylan. I think Dylan can do whatever she wants to do. But about the I don't know, the publicity, maybe pick up your battles, Dylan. If you really see that this is not gonna be okay with the people that do a market research, like who are the people purchasing this product, and see like, okay, am I aligned with that or not? If you see that's not the people that you feel like it was gonna be supportive of you, maybe just make the kind of creative decision, or like how you say, like make the executive decision of saying, you know what, this campaign, thank you so much for offering to me for this great money, but I don't think I'm the face for this product. I think your people like someone else, like I don't know, Taylor Swift, or I don't know.
I don't think so. But again, I don't care. I don't have anything against Dylan Mulvaney either.
I don't have anything against Dylan. I don't have it.
Just said, and has been proven true, and other people have said, that it was a dumb move from Bud Light because they clearly didn't understand their demographic. Okay,
they probably did. Subject. Okay, let's get out.
I'm sick of Dylan Mulvaney.
Stop saying that. We have nothing against Dylan.
I know. All right, the writers' strike. Real quick, couple casualties. Drew Barrymore is now dropping out of the MTV Awards. She's not going to host anymore. She's backing out in solidarity with the writers fighting for better pay. By the way, we haven't stated this yet. Well, we're with the writers too. You know, we're creatives. We're Hollywood people. I'm supporting the writers' strike. Let's get this money. No, I haven't been cast in anything in 8 years, and this show is not in a union, and I don't benefit from this now at all. But you know what? I'm with my people, because they may one day give me work. So.
No, I think I'm with the writers as well, because I think a lot of the creative jobs, including for actors and actresses, I think it's people don't pay you. They're like, oh, you're going to get credits, or you're going to get this, or you're going to get that, or you get minimal payment. I think like the problem is that it's very exploitive towards people that are not famous. And it's really weird for me in Hollywood how they overpay really, really, really famous people. They pay them like basically the budget of movies is like it's paying someone famous to be in the movie, and then the rest just kind of have to deal with it. And the writers don't get paid as well, or the editors, or other actors, minor actors don't get paid the same, or not the same, but like they don't get paid enough to survive in acting. So I'm with the writers. I do think the industry does need to have a revamp. And I do think the budgets of movies shouldn't be just because, oh, you hired a big star, let's just pay them all the budget. How about like good editing and writing and paying other actors what they deserve? So that's my opinion, honestly.
She should have dropped out because no one's going to watch it anyway. And also because the show is just notoriously bad these days, and I'm sure whatever jokes were written for her would have been
I think I mean, I don't want to sound like conspiracy theory, but I do think like that Drew Barrymore probably didn't feel like presenting this. I feel like sometimes when you're I know that she's in support of them, but honestly, sometimes I mean, if it was Jimmy Kimmel hosting the Oscars or or Colbert or Stephen Colbert or I don't know whoever, I don't think that the person would drop off the job because of the screenwriters. I think they will go with it. And they will kind of say, "Hey, we're unscripted tonight, and I'm in support of them," and use that momentum to shout out instead of not. Okay, texting Dante.
All right, now one other casualty of
I don't know. I think that
is,
maybe she didn't feel like going, and she's like, "Let's make an excuse. I don't want to go
right.
anyway."
One other casualty is that because SNL has been taken off the air, obviously because of the writer's strike, you're going to miss out on Jennifer Coolidge from The White Lotus.
No,
and Kieran Culkin from Succession. They were all set to host, and of course Pete Davidson was supposed to do it this last week.
So they're not going to host.
Not for now, and who knows when they'll be scheduled again.
Who is gonna host? Who's gonna cover for the MTV?
They're not going to do the show. I mean, other people have suggested. I thought this too. Why not do a improvised episode or something? You know, like UCB Groundlings type style. Just get up there and see what happens. You know, they adjusted for COVID. They did it all over Zoom.
How about this?
Do it.
I have an idea.
Bring some attention to
SNL. Listen to me if you're here connected to the Dante Greco show, and me.
Which they are.
This is my idea. How about you ask ChatGPT to write a SNL episode with taking consideration the writer's strike and kind of just take over, but make the AI that's kind of writing down the show sassy. It's kind of like, since the writers are no longer here, it's my opportunity, and bring that robot head. I don't know if I forgot her name, but that bald robot woman, I forgot her name. Megan? No, the one that's actually a real robot. She's a real robot. She has no hair.
Oh God, I don't know that it had a name.
There's like a real robot, but bring the robot, and the robot will present to be like, hi, I'm here to present SNL, and since the writer's strike came out, I am gonna be here telling you jokes, and it will be just AI taking over, and maybe Elon Musk can make an appearance. It'll be so good.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
If you're an NBC executive. Now, if they did that, the writers would probably burn down Rockefeller Center. So I don't know that they can do that.
I don't know. I think it's a great idea.
Technically, legally, I'm sure
it would be hilarious.
It would be okay to do that.
I think that would be the best thing, and maybe make an episode that sucks to show how much we need the writers. Yeah. But let it be, because I saw a Casey Neistat that he did an episode that it was scripted by AI. It was not that great of an episode. It was very cheesy, but he made a point, like the human aspect is important. Maybe do that for SNL. Maybe let the AI figure out an episode and see how that goes.
All right, now real quick, because we're running out of time. Might even have to cut some topics today, unfortunately. But Jeffrey Epstein's islands, where his atrocities were committed and where many celebrities went and had a good time,
I think
is going to be turned into a luxury resort, a 5-star resort. A billionaire named Stephen Deckoff bought it for $60 million. They're in the Caribbean.
Okay.
And he has plans to turn them into a 25-room luxury resort that's slated for a 2025 opening. That's a quick turnaround. Wow. They were initially called Great St. James and Little St. James. I don't know if he's going to change the names of those. And he's turning it into a 5-star resort. I mean, this is the craziest thing I've heard in a while. How can you, in good conscience, I know that the islands didn't do anything. It's just rocks on top of water.
That's business. I think Trump will think the same thing. He's going to be like, let's open a
golf course,
a tower. The Hiltons will probably open a hotel. I think it's just business. Like, you got to sell that asset. And I don't know. I don't
look, I'm sure it's going to be very expensive. 25 rooms, 5-star resort.
Yeah, babe, they're not going to open a Marriott with that. Like, what are you thinking? What do you think it's going to be, a Marriott? No. It's the island, Epstein Island. Are they gonna rename the island? That's the question that I have.
Well, first of all, are they gonna keep that creepy temple that's so famous on the island? Number one, like the temple suite. Number two, how many people who went there and had a good time are gonna go back and stay at the resort and just try to like relive some classic memories. And how long until this place turns into like another weird trafficking
I don't know.
location?
All I know is that a lot of people that were surrounding Epstein is because Epstein is the kind of person that brings a lot of artists and philanthropy money around him, and that's the way that he kind of kept people, genius people, around him. So I don't think necessarily everybody that kind of went to his island had that kind of agenda, but a lot of people did. I don't think so. If we start seeing like Bill Clinton going there very often, Biden or whatever, or Trump again, then you might be thinking like it's a 2.0 story, and that's not good.
Well, it's just crazy. Like, of all the things you could open on this island,
what do you think they're gonna open? Like a
5-star resort? I don't know. Open like a factory or something else, or a land.
Why would you open
How
a
about
factory in
land
paradise?
Preservation. I don't know.
How about why would you open a factory in paradise? Like,
Well,
why would you
Jeffrey
do that?
Epstein trafficked countless underage women there and ruined many lives there. Like, how can you just relax
I
on that
think
beach?
that they should. I would relax. I mean, there's a lot of places in Europe that there were grounds for war, grounds of torture, and horrible things happen, and people are just chilling on the beach these days. It's like you got to think about it. Like, this has a historical negativity, yes, but move forward. The world moves forward, and let's forget about Jeffrey Epstein. Don't forget about him. Let's just like move forward. I don't know. I don't see any problem with that. I'm pro capitalism. I'm pro investments. And if this is going to be just like a cool resort for rich people to go, okay. If you're going to turn this into another Epstein Island, then we should try to monitor this a little bit better.
Well, I tell you what, I think I know where White Lotus season 3 is going to be set.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. Imagine if there's a ghost of the dead girls there.
Yeah.
Do they kill people there too,
Imagine
or
you
no?
have,
Someone disappeared.
Ghislaine Maxwell could be that woman who was like the concierge at the hotel.
I have an idea. I have an idea.
Jeffrey
How
Lotus.
about the Jeffrey Lotus? And then Jeff Epstein actually lives underground, and they have kind of like an underground part of the hotel where he actually is, and they actually use a stunt double to say that he's dead and he's
Welcome
actually
to the
alive.
White Epstein. You know what? That's true. A conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy
would
theory.
think,
Do you like
hey,
a conspiracy?
They would think, all right, it's been about like 4 years since he died. He's been hiding out, and he's gonna reemerge as like a guy that works at the resort. He's been living underground under the island.
Plastic surgery. They probably changed his nose, his face, his everything, but he's still an old man. So if you guys go to the island and you see a brunette, weird plastic surgery looking dude that looks like the height of Jeffrey Epstein,
with like a fake
or a
Cuban
fake mustache,
accent
or whatever, it could be him, guys. Maybe that was the conspiracy theorists are all correct.
All right. I want to spend more time on the Barstool Sports thing, but we're just running out of time today, unfortunately. Let's talk about real quick Lisa Vanderpump. There's trouble at the pump. Pain at the pump. Her restaurant is closing its doors. This is in West Hollywood.
She has many, by the way. She has Tom Tom. So the only one that she has open now is Tom Tom, right?
Pump Lounge. Yeah, I mean, she's losing her empire rapidly.
She still have one pump in Vegas, right? They don't have a pump one in Vegas as well?
I don't know. It's closing its doors on July 5th after 10 years because the lease is expiring and they wanted to jack up the rates. I don't disbelieve that. I'm sure that's
a lot of businesses. Actually, our favorite restaurant in Santa Monica for oysters is out of business because something like this happened.
WeHo will never be the same. She's closed down a couple. She lost Villa Blanca in Beverly Hills already. I don't know if the other one, Tom Tom, is going to be going down too, but yeah, she's closing down Pump. It's right there on the corner of Santa Monica and Robertson. It's a very valuable location.
Do you think that she's going to maintain Tom Tom after those guys' scandals about their questionable things about their character?
Well, you were telling me about Stassi Schroeder and how she thinks this whole Ariana Madix and whoever the other one is, the whole scandal was either fake or was like really fattened up for the show.
So there is a theory. She doesn't think that. She said it seems like it's a fake love triangle. That possibly one of the possibilities could be that Ariana and Tom Sandoval were about to break up anyways. And then producers talking to Lisa, talking to people, they were like, oh, let's make a whole story about it. Let's make the news. And they kind of, made up the story with Raquel, because the reason that Stassi said that, and I kind of agree a little bit. I don't know if it's true. It could be just, conspiracy theory regarding reality shows.
Yeah.
But what I think it is that it's weird that when you're watching the episodes, how everybody tells Ariana. So they are like in some kind of event at Tom Tom, and Katie goes talk to Ariana like, hey, I think it's weird that, Raquel is always around Tom when you're out of town. Your grandma is sick and passed away. You had to go out of town, and they're always hanging out. And Ariana just casually saying like, oh, she's my friend. I trust her. Doesn't matter whatever. I don't know. Either she's like really the nicest person in the world. Like she doesn't really see the evil in people. Or this is something that she knew was going to happen. Maybe she already broke up with them and they just doing the plot to kind of get us to talk about it.
All right.
The problem is I feel bad about Raquel. Like, how do you feel like you're...
I think she's right. I said this from the beginning. It looked like a coordinated effort between Bravo and Vanderpump and the show and the media to drum up some ratings for Vanderpump Rules.
Because the show was going downhill. Nobody was watching before this
interviews
drama.
with these people every day for weeks.
And podcasts. Every podcast I see, there's Lala Kent or whoever, someone from the Britney and what's his name?
Multiple times a day. They're being found everywhere. They have something to say about it. And it's like, to me, it was like, hey, you either this is really happening or, you guys are going to break up anyway. How can we turn this into something for the show?
Interesting. Make it into something interesting.
Vanderpump says, we need something for the show this season. I'm losing my empire. We need something for the show. And so they just say, okay, here's what we're going to do. This is the storyline for this year. And they just pushed it, and it was successful. I mean, they wound up at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. But the thing is,
ratings are up.
Ratings up. Everyone is watching again.
The clicks are through the roof.
People love the shocking thing, and then I think one of the things that Lisa Vanderpump and what's his name, Andy Cohen, they know how to make great television and drama. That comes from the housewives of years of experience doing something, make something more dramatic than actually is. I do believe that Ariana and Tom did break up. And I feel like the whole, the problem about Raquel, like he doesn't seem to be necessarily into her. Like she's out of town without him, and they don't seem that close. Like when you see them hanging out together, they don't give like a lot of hints that they are together either. It's kind of like, oh, we went to a hot tub last night. Okay, where's the footage? Show the footage. How does Ken Vanderpump knows, or whatever his last name is, knows that the Tom was in a hot tub with Raquel? Does he have a drone following them around? Right. How come there's no footage of that? How come there's no footage of them making out?
All right, babe, I hate to wrap you up, but like we're losing power on the computer right now. Everything's going awry. So we gotta
go, guys. Let me know what you think.
This is us at Pump once. We're going to miss Pump. We went there at the beginning of our relationship.
Cinco de Mayo, tomorrow.
Sitting around the fire.
What happened Cinco de Mayo?
We pumped it out.
No,
it was the first time we said we love each other.
He yelled to everyone at the what's the name of the place?
I don't know.
Abbey. At the Abbey. He was like, I love this woman.
I yelled at the Abbey. Okay, that's it. We got to run. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys. Let us
have a good life. We will see you soon.
Much love.
Thank you.
Love.
All right, Dante.
So once again, thank you to my brother. Tell him your name again.
Dante Greco.
2 words. Made in America.
Dante, you're doing great.
That's good. I never anybody over in my life. It's from.
Listen, I want you to leave my good friend Ringo alone.
Yeah.
Hal.
Have a good day.